pregnancy update. So this is 7 weeks and it's been a bit of a scary one and a bit of an emotional roller coaster this week, so bear with me. I will try to explain as much of what's happened as I can and I can remember, because it's all been a bit of a blur. But first we'll talk about the baby and all that kind of jazz. So basically baby is now the size of a blueberry. I just said blueberry, very strange. It is 1.3 centimeters I believe and 0.5 grams. I think from now on it just doubles and doubles and doubles until you're like... And now at this stage, at 7 weeks, the baby's kind of embryotic form, as they like to call it, is now starting to shape into more of a kind of baby human form. So there's little buds where like the arms and legs are going to be, and the little tail bit's starting to disappear. And the heart started beating, so that's really exciting. I think it does start from 6 weeks. I can't remember if I said that in the last video. But yeah, how crazy is that? What's also really weird is the little tooth buds are forming apparently. So where like the teeth are going to be, there's little buds already, even though it's only like that big. So as I said before, this week's been pretty tough. So I started getting quite a bit of spotting again towards the kind of beginning of being 7 weeks pregnant, and obviously naturally got worried, but I had my GP appointment, so I was a bit like, well, if it doesn't progress to proper bleeding, then I may as well just wait for that, because it's so hard to get an appointment anywhere and, you know, the usual jazz. So I waited for my appointment, went to my appointment. My doctor was really great. I'd rarely ever go to the doctor, but I've seen this doctor before. I think I had my postnatal check, obviously almost 2 years ago, with Isla with her, and she was really lovely. So I just told her what I was experiencing, what was going on, all about the spotting, explained that I'd had quite a bit of bleeding at the beginning as well, so at like 3-4 weeks pregnant. And she didn't even question it further. She was like, right, I think we should get you seen by the early pregnancy unit up at the hospital, because otherwise it'll just keep worrying you, so we may as well get you reassured, see what's going on, and this, that and the other. So even though as soon as she said that, I got even more worried, because I was like, oh gosh, like I'm not just being silly, I'm not just kind of getting worried for no reason. And yeah, it wasn't very nice. So luckily I had to call, she like did the whole referral form, and then I had to call them to make an appointment, and they were able to see me the very next day, which is amazing. Like I was shocked. I was really shocked how quickly they managed to. It's really great. I think they said they only scan in the morning, so if you think how little appointments that is, I was pretty amazed. So that was that. The GP was really lovely. She was like, we'll just wait to refer you to the midwife till after you've had the scan at the early pregnancy unit and see what they say. So I was like, okay. Then I was a bit like, oh god, so for work, I've obviously gone to the doctor for this. Now I have to go to the hospital tomorrow, and then I'm going to have to go back to the GP all within 1 week. And obviously my work don't know I'm pregnant, so yeah, a bit of creative storytelling went on, obviously. But yeah, we went to the hospital the very next day, picked Robert up from work, just went straight there, and went into the kind of unit. It was quite good because it's not in with the normal scanning bit. I don't know this hospital, I'm just assuming it's not in with the normal scanning bit from what I hear. It wasn't in like a maternity area, it was in the gynecology area, which I think is much better. I've heard really horrible stories of people who've gone for their scans and have obviously found out bad news, and then they're surrounded by people who are obviously fine. So it was good. It was in a kind of small area of the hospital. We went through, I actually vlogged it as well, so either that video will already be up or it'll be going up very soon, but we vlogged our kind of day in experience. Obviously you couldn't vlog that much in the place because that would be weird, and people around and privacy and whatever. So yeah, we went and spoke to the receptionist. She was really lovely, really friendly, sat down, and then got seen within 10-15 minutes, so pretty quickly. We went through to a scan room. It was a trainee scan person, so they were like, we'll go through your tummy first, like not do an internal scan, just to see if we could pick up anything there, because I'd explained obviously and they saw on the notes what was going on. So the trainee person was kind of prodding around and couldn't see anything, and at that point I was like, oh god, like, I think I stopped breathing. I think I was just holding my breath, and Robert, who usually jokes around or whatever, he was next to me and he was being really quiet as well. And I think both of us were just a bit like, oh, like it could be bad news. Like I know I prepared for the worst anyway, but I don't know, it was just horrible. And then the main person who, like, proper trained up sonographer, I don't even know why I struggled to say that, she came along and she really pressed down, like she had the scanning probe thing, and she really pressed down, and within like 10 seconds baby was on the screen, and we were like, oh. And I thought, because obviously you've seen scans before, you've had a baby before, you'd think, oh well, I've seen it before, so it won't be as overwhelming as the first time. But it really was. Like, I almost cried. Robert cried, but I almost cried. I was just like, oh, the relief. I was just like, oh, there was this heartbeat just like so strong, it was like beating away. It was just a blur on the screen because obviously they're so teeny tiny, but this heartbeat was so obvious. So they like measured baby up. It's measuring a little bit behind what I think I should be, but they said it can depend on what position the baby's in or what it's doing or where it's at and what they're picking up. So they said not to worry, obviously mention it at the 12-week scan and then see what happens. So that was a relief, like, oh gosh. But we got given this little envelope with our scan photo in it, which was really sweet. I didn't expect to get one. I didn't think that we'd get it printed out, like, just because it's not a proper 12-week scan or anything. But there's baby! Teeny tiny baby, and apparently that's the yolk sac as well. So yeah, crazy. Just looks like, you can obviously see where the arms are, but it's just really funny. It's our little baby. But we got, obviously on the letter it said, and they said to us, please don't open this in the waiting room, because obviously other people get bad news, so you don't want to be whipping out and going woo when like other poor people are going through horrible stuff. So yeah, so then I got taken through to a nurse after about another 10 minutes, and I got given some leaflets. So they're doing this study at the hospital I'm at the moment, and it's all about progesterone in early pregnancy bleeding. So they told me all about it, and apparently it's like this trial going on where they give you these progesterone or a placebo. You don't know what you're getting, so obviously it's a trial experiment thing, and you insert it, and they're just seeing if it helps, really, because apparently in a lot of other European countries it's very, very normal to get this progesterone pessary when you're pregnant, just because it apparently thickens the womb up. It like acts like, so if you haven't got enough progesterone, obviously your womb doesn't get thick enough, and it can cause problems for baby, and it can cause the bleeding. That could be the reason I'm bleeding. But yeah, so I debated it, and I was going to do it. I thought, yeah, may as well, but it meant more appointments, and obviously work don't know I'm pregnant at the moment, so I couldn't do it. It just wasn't going to work. And also we're about a 25-minute drive from the hospital, so unfortunately we didn't do that. But it sounds really interesting, and I'd be really intrigued to hear if anyone else has had any experience with that sort of thing. We also got a little report which just says that the anteverted uterus, no idea what that means, contains a single gestation sac with a fetal pole. Then the measurements and the heartbeat was seen, and the yolk sac was seen, and the conclusion was that it's a single viable intrauterine pregnancy. I also got a leaflet all about threatened miscarriage, which is, it's good. It's always good to get as much information as possible, because as much as I love Google, it can tell you a load of rubbish sometimes. So it's basically saying that your ultrasound scan today has shown that your baby is within the womb and that the heartbeat's been seen. When bleeding occurs in early pregnancy, it's called a threatened miscarriage. It's very common, and apparently it occurs in 50% of all pregnancies. That was good. That was interesting to know. Blah, blah, blah. Majority of cases doesn't cause a problem. Then it says what to do if you start getting pain and kind of more bleeding and heavier bleeding with like clots and that. And yeah, it just gives you a bit more information, saying to go back to your GP or midwife that'll get you referred to get seen at the EPU again. So fingers crossed that won't happen to us, but I have heard lots of stories about people seeing heartbeats on scans very early on and then having miscarriages. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, but hopefully this baby sticks. And yeah, you'll be seeing this in a few weeks' time when I'm 12 weeks pregnant. Fingers crossed. So that's kind of like the big thing that's been going on. I'm seeing my GP tomorrow, and then I'll get referred to the midwife, so I don't know how long that will take to get an appointment. But yeah, that's it. Symptom wise, still feeling very, very, very sick. Headaches, a lot more bloated, very bloated, no energy. I really want to exercise, I really want to go swimming, but I just can't summon the energy after 9 hours working. So I'm like, oh, I'll do it in the morning, but then I go to bed late, and I just cause myself problems, so I need to get that sorted. No No real cravings because I hate all food at the moment. Everything makes me feel sick. The smell is a lot stronger this time around. I can't remember if I've said it on any of the previous videos, but smells of things are affecting me a lot more. Like just the smells of anything, food, people, deodorant, anything. Well, and sometimes even if I think about smells, I then smell them and feel sick. It's very strange. But that's about it symptom wise. I will show you my bump now. So still not much going on bump wise apart from loads of extra fat here and very bloated here. I get so heavy and just really like really bloated. So yeah, definitely starting to feel it more now. And that is my 7-week update. Sorry it's a rambly one. Sorry if you're sick of these videos already. I promise they will all be caught up soon and it'll just be one a week going forward. But thank you very much for watching and we'll see you very soon. Bye!